Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Truth Serum Thursday. I feel like it's like that. It's like when the guy's sitting next to the fireplace and it's crackling because it's raining outside and it's evening and it's so peaceful. But anyway, so it's Thursday, and this Truth Serum is a little different than other ones I've done because this is something that I guess is more, I'm interested to see what other people think about it, because it's such a topic that, everyone has a different opinion about, and depending on life experience, everyone's answer is going to be different. So this Truth Serum is kind of about happiness. What makes people happy, specifically in your career. My background in wondering this is that, for many of you that don't know me, I lost my father about 10 years ago, and almost 10 years. And I lost him to depression that started because of a job, and losing a job and looking for a job and trying to figure out what job you want to do. And basically the question is, do you take a job because it pays well and maybe you like it a little bit, or do you do something that you're passionate about and maybe it doesn't pay that great? And obviously, your circumstances are different. If you have a family to support, you don't really have that option. So in the past few years, I've kind of been, thinking about this more because I've moved and I've had, tried a couple different jobs, and I, went back to college and got a degree and kind of did that for a little bit. And I'm the middle child. I'm the weird one. I'm the one that didn't know what she wants to do, still. But, I always wonder, what do you, what makes people happy? Like their passion or an income and I have, a degree in sociology and psychology. So scientifically, I know the background. And, when you're talking about happiness and what makes people happy, happiness is pretty much like how satisfied you are with your life and how you feel every day. So, and happiness is determined 40% by your thoughts and your actions, your behavior. 50% is by genetics, and then 10% is your circumstances. So, obviously everybody, can make something better of their situation. So, being happy in a job seems like it should be such a priority. But, when you start to research why people are happy and what makes people happy, the answer is not income. It's not income. It's, meaningful relationships. I was watching a TED Talk earlier, and there's a study in Harvard. It was in the 1940s that it's the longest study that they've ever done on, a group of people and followed them through their lives. And it was a study that they did on 750 men for 75 years, and it's still going on. And a lot of the men that they're still, following are in their 90s. And half of the men that they looked at were sophomores at Harvard, and the other half were poor men, or men that came from poor, less fortunate families in Boston, bad circumstances, very poor. And they followed these men for 75 years. And, I think he said one became president, some, climbed the social ladder and did really well, and others, were the opposite. And the thing that they found consistent throughout this, no matter what these men ended up doing as a career, was that meaningful relationships kept them happy and healthy. So it just, and especially not even with, your family or your friends or your significant other, but meaningful relationships, at work. Coworkers are important. So, I don't know. It's just, it's so interesting. And, everybody, I feel like in America is so obsessed with money and material things. And I don't like to call myself a millennial, but technically I'm a millennial. But, our generation is awful. And this same, TED Talk was saying that he, talking to millennials and asking them, what their goal was, when they were older or whatever, and 80% said that they wanted to be rich and famous. What is wrong with us? I mean, obviously, if you have money, it's a little better. Everyone is always like, well, if I'm having a bad day, I'd rather be having a bad day sitting in a mansion looking on the beach drinking a, top shelf margarita. But I mean, is that really like, what if you're alone? A lonely person? Like, why? It seems funny that, if everyone thinks that money is the answer and money is what makes people happy, then why do, people that are, millionaires or, top CEOs, why do they kill themselves? Or why, Robin Williams, he seemed like a real happy person, had a lot of money, super successful, obviously wasn't happy. Like, yeah, I mean, there definitely can be other circumstances, when that's mental health is a whole nother, that'd be like a series. But it's just interesting that I feel like most of the time, people would want to do something that they like. And I know that there's a lot of people that, are successful and they like what they do. And that's obviously the ultimate goal. But I'm just wondering, because a lot of things that, people are passionate about, especially creative people, the geniuses like myself, a lot of that artsy fartsy stuff doesn't really make a lot of money. I mean, starving artists, like that's a term they're called that for a reason, because they don't make a lot of money, but they love what they do. So they keep doing it. So do you keep struggling and loving what you do? Or do you say, I'm going to set that aside and do something that I'm not that crazy about, but so I just wonder what everyone else has to say, because, ever since I lost my dad, he worked at a job that he wasn't necessarily crazy about. And he, going to school, when he went to college, went into business because, it was pretty obvious that you would be more successful in business than to go and be a teacher, which is what he really wanted to do. He always wanted to be a history teacher, never did it, went into business because that was the, the more successful, route to go. And, he was successful, but there's always that what if. So ever since he passed away, it's been my goal, my like lifelong mission to not work at a job that I don't like, which sucks sometimes, because sometimes jobs just fucking suck. But, but I've been trying a lot of stuff in the past couple of years, who says that when you're in your 30s that you have to know what you want to do, right? People can start over. I feel like I'm 22. Not on a Sunday morning after going out on a Saturday night, but in most other circumstances, yes. So I would just like anybody that watches this to comment below, because I feel like different generations would say different things. And obviously people that are, have families and people to support, sometimes, doing your passion is not always an option if you, have small mouths to feed, or, you have to put a roof over your kid's head. I know that, but I just wonder, what people think, because, in the long run, that you can't take the money with you when you die. but to, you know, live your life with no regrets and know that you did everything that you thought you might want to do and that you loved your job. And obviously being happy, happier people are healthier. You're going to live longer. So this might have been all over the place. It's a little rambly, but let me know what you guys think, because I'd really like to know. So anyway, that was a little random, but oh well. So I'm really interested to see what different people say. So talk to you guys later.